This property is definitely something that a lot of people are looking forward to, and this really is a development that you should really be looking at. This particular plot of land was highly contested. 9 developers,
Wow.
big boys. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Singapore New Launch Insider Studio Review. My name is Rain.
And I'm Irina. Today we'll be sharing with you an upcoming new launch in CCR District 11 called Dunearn House.
Yeah, Irina, I think this property is definitely something that a lot of people are looking forward to because this is one of the very few upcoming CCR launches that we will see. And of course, if you know, this particular plot of land was highly contested.
Yes.
9 developers,
Wow.
big boys. And of course, we have Frasers, CSC Land and Sekisui House winning this particular plot along Dunearn Road. Let's begin with showing our viewers a little bit on the perspectives that we will see that this particular area in the upcoming new precinct for Turf City transformation, surrounded by a lot of landed cluster. This is how it will be looking like, and really majestic, and probably going to be one of the tallest along this road as well.
Correct.
Maybe Irina, we can start by sharing off some of the project facts with our viewers.
Okay, so for this project at Dunearn House, there will be 2 blocks of 19 stories and 3 blocks of 10 stories. We have a good size development, total of 380 units altogether, ranging from 2-bedroom all the way to 4-bedroom premium.
Yeah, and of course, we'll see the unit type starting from 2-bedder all the way to 4-bedroom premium plus study. And it's looking to likely TOP in an estimated year of 2030. And I pretty like the land size actually for 380 units. It's spanning across close to 146,000 square feet. And this is definitely a decent plot of land that we see along Bukit Timah Road. As we know that this entire area itself is pretty much built up. But something really exciting is coming to this area, which is the Turf City transformation, which we'll share with you a little bit more in a while, right? And of course, we share a little bit more with regards to, of course, the developers we mentioned earlier on, the architect Ong and Ong, as well as KCL Consultants, EcoPlan, and of course CSC, right? Which is actually one of the developer themselves. And the ID itself is actually Super Fat Design and Masoni Ong. And I think these IDs, right, they have always been doing high-end luxury ID for a lot of show flats in Singapore. So we're definitely looking forward to see the very beautiful show suites. Okay, maybe Irina, share with us a little bit more with regards to some of the portfolio, right?
So like what Rain mentioned, this is a joint venture between 3 developers, Frasers, Sekisui and CSC Land. So I think we all know these are very reputable developers already. They have a lot of huge range of portfolio under their belt, one of which the latest is Robertson at Opus, which is also in the central region. And then we have the Ori at Toa Payoh, which was actually almost fully sold on the launch day itself. And then of course they have others like Sky Eden at Bedok, 8 at Woodley, 8 at Mount Sophia, Park Greenwich. So you can see that they actually have a wide range of other developments under their belt.
Yeah, exactly. Like what Irina had mentioned, these are really big names that we always see in mega developments. And particularly, actually, I have very good chance to work on some of the Frasers property like Riviere, right, along the Singapore River, and then of course the recent Robertson Opus. And actually Sekisui House, I actually like their One Holland Village residences, right? And of course CSC Land, everyone knows they are really one of the top, I would say, contractors or builders in the market itself. Let's now look a little bit about the location. And of course this particular development, Dunearn House, District 11 CCR, located along Bukit Timah area, right, Dunearn Road to be exact. So Dunearn House is actually very close proximity to actually the 6th Avenue MRT station.
Yes, that's right.
And of course, Irina, share with us a little bit more. What MRT line are we sitting on here?
So 6th Avenue is actually the downtown line, which is the blue color line, and it's only about a 4 to 5 minute walk to 6th Avenue MRT station. So really, it's just a stone's throw away.
Exactly.
And not only that, we actually have an upcoming MRT station that's also near us, which will actually be about 6 to 7 minute walk in future, and that's that's called the Turf City MRT, and that will be under the Cross Island Line, which is something upcoming.
Exactly, and I think we should be able to see this coming up in probably 2032, right?
Yes.
With the upcoming Turf City transformation actually right behind us at Dunearn House. And of course, this particular prestigious development, being able to walk to 2 different MRT lines is really fantastic, because I think for the downtown line itself, we actually will bring commuters all the way right into the MBFC area.
And then the Turf City MRT line in future takes us all the way to the east, Changi side, and then it takes us to Ang Mo Kio, and then after that it takes us to, not only the central, but it also takes us all the way to the west in future as well.
Yeah, exactly. We imagine how well connected to all the different parts of Singapore you will be if you are residing in Dunearn House. Right, and of course from the picture itself, you can see Bukit Timah. Everyone knows, right? This is definitely the most prestigious educational belt you can find in the whole entire Singapore. Look at all
the top schools are all here.
Exactly, not just the top primary schools. We have a very good range of secondary schools, tertiary options, as well as international schools. So, and of course, we talk a little bit about Bukit Timah. It itself is actually already a matured area, isn't it, Arina?
Yes, correct. Because we have amenities actually all within 10 minutes walk of Dunearn House itself. So you can see that we actually have cold storage at Guthrie House. It's right down there. And then 6th Avenue, as we all know, there's a lot of good food where all the coffee shop, all the shop houses are.
And of course, mention, right? Of course, today, if you're looking for amenities, MRT at your doorstep, good educational choices, this is definitely a location that is actually very well loved by a lot of Singaporeans. And you can see over here, these are the existing amenities, right? That are already in place right in the Bukit Timah vicinity. And of course, later we'll share with everyone what's upcoming, which is an exciting part of why you should be part of this Turf City transformation. And of course, connectivity-wise, we mentioned earlier on, we are going to be situated along the downtown line, right? And of course, we're 1 stop to King Albert Park, 2 stops to Botanical Gardens, right? If you really like nature and you visit the gardens often, this is really a short commute away. And of course, to Newton, where the interchanges are. As Arina mentioned earlier on, you only 4 minutes away, right, to the 6th Avenue MRT station, 5 minutes to Guthrie House, and of course, upcoming 7 minutes to the Turf City MRT station. Even if you drive, right? Look at all the timings, Arina.
3 minutes you can hit the expressway PIE, and 10 minutes can get you to Holland Village, and 12 minutes can get you to Dempsey Hill, followed by Orchard Road already.
Exactly. Actually, this area itself, I would say, is quite well loved by expats as well, because if you talk about places like Holland Village, places like Dempsey Hill, these are all very lifestyle destinations that I think local Singaporeans as well as expats like to actually chill out at.
Yes, correct. Especially if you have pets, these places are mostly all pet friendly as well. Yeah, as we all know, a lot of pet owners all reside in this area.
And of course, we mentioned earlier on, from the preschools to the primary schools, all the way to junior colleges and tertiary institutions, as well as international schools, you name it, you'll find it at this area itself. And of course, for parents looking to actually enroll your children in the primary schools around this area, of course, at the point of this recording, we will not be able to confirm whether schools like MJS, Nanyang Primary, Pei Hwa, First Girls Primary, or even Henry Park, whether they are within 1 or 2 clicks away from Dunearn House, because we are waiting the update from the authorities. But definitely, if you talk about proximity-wise, right, the ease of dropping your kids off at the primary school in the morning and fetching them home, you will be in a very strategic location, and commuting to fetch them will be very, very easy for you.
Yeah, literally of kids of all ages, really.
Exactly.
Even the young all the way to tertiary.
And I think we would like to say that Dunearn House is actually in a 10 minutes neighborhood. Why do we say that?
That's because when the government actually, launching this new Turf City transformation, they did say that, they want to make it such that, people residing in this area is just 10 minutes to everything that they need under the sun. So like we mentioned, we have connectivity, which is less than 10 minutes away. So besides that, we also have dining, eateries, all within 10 minutes. For example, you can see from here, we have Greenwood. As we all know, there are many cafes, restaurants that you can go and chill, have your meals. We have Coronation Plaza. So Coronation Plaza has NTUC Finest. So besides Guthrie House Cold Storage, Coronation Plaza has NTUC. So you have 2 different supermarkets to go to. to. And we have Serene Center as well, as we know. Serene Center has quite a few F&B as well. So literally everything is within 10 minutes, everything that you need.
Exactly. So if you reside in Dunearn House, you will be within 10 minutes to all the amenities that you need. And of course, what Arina have been sharing is the existing amenities. We have not even shared with all of you what's upcoming and that you get to enjoy these new plans, the new amenities and the new shops or even retail commercial coming to this area itself, which we'll do so in a bit. Moving on, everyone knows that in the Bukit Timah area, this is definitely one of the most prestigious area because Bukit Timah houses one of the very few GCB enclave in Singapore, and you can see that for Dunearn House itself, wow.
Wow, we are really surrounded by all the private houses.
Exactly. So if I can share with every one of you here, maybe, you know, with even a quantum as low as 1.4x million, you might potentially be having GCB neighbors, right? So stay tuned, sit through to the end so that we can share a little bit of what we feel the prices would be like at Dunearn House. Yes, to the exciting part, right? And of course, I like to share with a lot of my investors. I've been speaking to my investors with regards to Dunearn House, and they should be considering this as one of the top investor choice because in Singapore, we always talk about transformation, right?
Yes,
we
correct.
always talk about transformation. There's almost transformation everywhere. But to me, there's two kinds of transformation, like transformation in an area that is totally empty and transformation in an area whereby it's already matured. To me, these are really worlds apart because Bukit Timah itself is already a matured area, but yet we have a new precinct coming here, which is called the Turf City Transformation or the Turf City Precinct. And of course, we know over here itself, government announced there's going to be public housing.
Wow, yes, that's right. So it's actually good, right? It's not like I'm going into some place Ulu now. Actually, when I enter Bukit Timah now, actually I already have current amenities ready.
Exactly.
But I'll be expecting more in future.
Can you imagine if you're sharing with your friends, your residential address is actually Bukit Timah? That will be really quite a good reference to
Very
where it
atas,
stays, right? It's like a luxury area, right? And what's really exciting is because the government has announced that in the Turf City area, there will be 15,000 to 20,000 new homes. And this is a mixture, right, of both, I would say, public and private. Exactly. And of course, with the transformation, there will definitely be more infrastructure, more connectivity, more shops, F&B and community spaces. And of course, Turf Club, right? Of course, those of you who know Turf Club, right? Let's look at the Turf Club itself. In the Turf City area, last time, this is an area whereby it has really rich history, isn't it?
Yes.
Right? Because this area itself used to be really a place that people really have horse races.
All the horses and all the horse racing.
Exactly. So if you look at whatever that you can see over here on the screen itself, this whole entire Turf Club area is going to be slightly conserved as well to maintain the iconic symbol of this area, to keep the prestigious and luxurious feel of what Turf City used to mean.
That's nice because I see that they are actually keeping these 22 heritage buildings, conserving these buildings and turning them into community spaces.
Exactly. And this will really make Turf City an icon in the area itself. And of course, I think with all the new precincts, this will be actually car light. They will be enhancing all the roads to ensure that the connectivity is good. There'll be no congestion. I'm really looking forward to the new Turf City transformation because I used to go to this area to Giant and buy my groceries. I like the fact that it has so much greenery, and then I go there for the seafood. I don't know how many of you went there before. So yeah, so this is really an interesting place. I was happy to hear that they were going to conserve parts of this Turf City area like the grandstand so that it can retain its identity.
I'm excited to see also, to see how everything turns out.
So Dunearn House is going to be actually the first chapter, I would say, in this whole entire
transformation.
Exactly.
Bukit Timah Turf City transformation.
Exactly, right. And of course, I think as cliche as it sounds, I have to say that this is the first mover in the Turf City area.
Definitely. And who doesn't want to be the first, right?
Yeah. So imagine if I turn back time and share with you, if you have a chance to enter the Marina Bay area to buy the sale. Those of you who know, I think all of us won't be sitting here anymore.
We'll be first one to chiong already.
Exactly. Right. So, and I think now you have this opportunity to really enjoy this first mover in the Turf City new transformation. You can see over here, we will see the cross island line coming into this area pretty soon. And for Dunearn House, if you look at the master plan itself, this is one of the rare plots, I would say, in this whole entire precinct that is closest to the 6th Avenue MRT station, right?
You can see that we are really the closest already, one of the closest.
But what I really like is actually this particular plot is actually right facing the Bukit Timah Road and Dunearn Road. Why? Because it's going to have so much exposure when people are commuting along Bukit Timah Road. You can see Dunearn House. Those of you who know the plot right next to us over here itself, that is actually, I would say, pinkish in color. This has been actually won recently by Wing Tai.
Yes,
right?
correct. And a much higher price, right?
Right, it's really at a much higher price. And you would like to know that actually this particular plot will actually have some commercial units.
That's right, correct. So that's actually criteria that, you know, the developer of this plot, they'll definitely have a supermarket and they'll definitely have an early childhood education as well.
Wow.
So residents of Dunearn House, next time, right, the supermarket is literally just next door only.
Wow. And of course, you get to enjoy the amenities at the doorstep without having to pay for a higher price, and you enjoy more exclusivity because the footfall is going to be slightly lower than your counterparts, right? So if we talk about District 11, this is definitely one of the top choices among buyers looking to buy a unit at CCR region. And you can see that District 11 has always been enjoying a pretty good price growth, right? You can see that it's pretty much good progression towards the increase of about a 3.19 per annum increase. Nice and steady, if I would like to comment, right? Something that is, I would say, the demand is always there.
Correct. I mean, 40% for the past 10 years, I think that's quite a good growth rate.
And of course, over here, since Bukit Timah has always been an area whereby we have limited land parcels, right? And of course, it's just because now we're having the 12th city transformation, that's why there's more release of the new plots of land. If not, imagine there actually aren't many new plots.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, next let's look at the surrounding, right? Market analysis. If we compare ourselves where Dunearn House is located, just now we mentioned, right, Arina?
Yes, the upcoming development beside us was actually won at, bidded at 1,625 PSF PPR. So that's actually about 15% higher than Dunearn House land price.
And you can enjoy the amenities without having to pay for more, right? And not too far away. And I think these two plots over here are won by the same developer, Sim Lien. And you can look at the land price itself, right? Pretty similar to Dunearn House, not too far away. But if you look at the land size itself individually, they are not as big as what the land size of Dunearn House is actually having. And of course, those of the buyers out there, definitely if you are looking to purchase a unit in the Bukit Timah area, in the CCR area, in the District 9, 10, 11, right? Definitely reach out to us and be gladly sharing with you the different upcoming opportunities that you have in the CCR region. And of course, to help everyone have an overview and understand how the land bids have been performing and how they have been faring, I would say actually in the last 6 to 12 months, Arina, what's your feel about the land bids?
I think you can judge the kind of like, you know, how confident the developer is by the number of developers who actually bid for the land as well, because which developer doesn't want a good piece of land to sell, right? So you can see that for Dunearn House, we actually have a total of 9 developers bidding for this, and this is actually the highest number of bidders for any plot of land this whole for the year of 2025.
And if you look at the winning bid price itself, actually the top 3 developers not too far away.
Yes.
Right? So also this really signifies the fact that they really see the potential of this particular plot of land and the whole entire area that will be undergoing transformation.
Correct. And they're all like big developers. They're not those like small developers as well.
Yeah, you see you have CDL, Sim Lien, UOL, these are really the big boys, right? And of course, take a look at what has been happening. If you ask me, all the land bids, they have been actually increasing quite substantially over the last 6 to 12 months. And of course, for this particular plot of land, it was actually won by Frasers and their joint venture partners last year, right? Around, say, 12 months ago.
Yes.
Right. And I
June
see,
last year.
yeah, exactly. And then since June last year, I would say that my sensing is that the GLS land bid prices have increased, I would say a good 10% on average.
Correct.
Right. Because after this, and I think earlier on, there was land in Dover that was actually sold for 1,500 plus, and really many more. Right.
Yes, correct. I think because the one thing is that Singapore is small also, so I mean our land we don't have that many, that amount of land, so land is scarce. Plus with everything, getting more expensive these days, that's why we always say, if you have the means to buy, you should buy something now instead of waiting.
Exactly. Land prices in Singapore has already proven itself that always go up, right, due to the scarcity. But you can see over here what is really very obvious is the confidence in the area itself, with all the big boys, the big developers eyeing and hoping to get their foot into this area itself. Okay, let's also share with our viewers a little bit more about some of the prices that have been transacting for the new launches right in the last 6 to 12 months. Maybe starting with the OCR.
So the highest transacted in the OCR region, you can see Alta. Alta is somewhere in the Clementi area. So highest transacted is 2,881 PSF.
Oh, amazing.
Parktown resident in Tampines area, 2,600 PSF. Just recent, Pinery is actually one of the most recent launches this year in March. They actually highest transacted at 2,007 PSF. I mean, even if you asked me a few years ago, who would have thought that OCR would reach this kind of prices, right? I think nobody would believe it.
And really interesting, right? Really interesting, because Pinery really happened just a couple of months,
only.
right? Some of my clients, right, who were sitting on the sidelines and didn't take action, they were all shocked to see the prices, right? And then now they realize, that they better make sure they start to get invested before this really goes any higher. But what's really important and why do we really want to show you these prices is really to help you understand what are the prices that's being accepted in today's market. And we are talking about OCR region over here. And I think this is really interesting because we're talking about decentralization. I think government has really done a great job in decentralizing the whole entire island, such that buyers are really willing to pay a lot more for the OCR region because the OCR region's prices have run by so much.
So push even the RCR and CCR region.
Exactly, and now because the gap, right, if you're talking about a gap between some of the CCR launches with the RCR comparison to OCR, now it seems that the CCR launches probably look quite attractive.
Yeah, correct. Seems like, the CCR region, some people even say, consider cheap if I want to compare with
Exactly,
OCR
and that's why it's really interesting. Although CCR's performance haven't been very good for the last, I would say, 3 to 5 years. But I think from last year, Q3 onwards, with that few new launches like Zion Grand, Promenade Peak, the prices have really run, like River Green. If you look at the RCR area itself, look at the prices for Zion Grand has transacted 3,009. And that's a 10.39 million unit, right? And of course, Promenade Peak, we see 3,005. And One Marina Gardens, we have 3,003. And of course, Upper House at the CCR region, transacting 3,848 per square foot. Not too far away from us, actually, this particular location. And River Green, we mentioned earlier on, a 2-bedroom unit, 2.419, 3,006 PSF. And Newport surprised quite a lot of us, in the District 1 area. January this year, 4,185 per square foot. But of course, Newport is freehold. But this is just to give everyone a snapshot. What are the prices and PSF that people are actually accepting nowadays?
Correct.
Like what Arina mentioned, who would know that people will pay 3,000 and up for OCR?
Correct. And this is just not a one-off because these projects actually did quite well. They all sold more than 50%. It's not like only a couple of buyers. So you can see that majority of the market have already accepted it.
And I think also the acceptance level being this high, but also later when we share a little bit about the quantum, the harmonization effect have actually helped to manage the quantum play very well, because I think affordability is the top key that most buyers are looking at.
Correct.
So that's why I think the acceptance level of the PSF has been very well accepted. And of course, coming to the product itself, this luxury product, Dunearn House, has 2 collections.
Yes, correct. Right? They have actually a luxury collection which comprises of the 2-bedders and the 3-bedders, and then they also have a pinnacle collection, which is the 3-bedroom premium to the 4-bedroom premium.
And these are the higher blocks, right, for the Pinnacle collection?
Yes, correct. So the Pinnacle collection, it will be a total of 19 floors. And then the luxury collection, they have 10 floors.
So I think it's interesting because the design itself will allow many of the residents to enjoy a towering view over the landed cluster in the Bukit Timah area. None of the developments in the Bukit Timah area has this kind of height.
Correct, because this is actually going to be the tallest development in this entire...
At least for now.
Yes, for now.
Because of the fact that we will be having this height of the building, I can imagine, wow, the views will be fantastic, right? Towards the north, towards the new Turf City area, whereby it will be going under transformation. You will have really panoramic unblocked views towards the Turf City area. And even towards the Bukit Timah area itself. Wow, look at the view.
Wow, all the
Marina.
landed houses in front of us.
Yeah.
It's not every day that you can get to look down on the landed houses, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And we mentioned earlier on, wow, we're surrounded by all the GCBs.
Yeah.
Right now, you have a chance to look down on the GCBs. And I think not many developments, of course, I mentioned earlier on, I think most of them are pretty much quite short because of the plot ratio. And we had a chance to go through the architect briefing, right? And I think, Arina, what do you
Yes.
think about the design that you've seen?
I think the design so far, I really like the color scheme. They did a very nice, neutral and warm color scheme. Nothing like, no weird colors or anything. And the design also looks very, I would say, very classy. So you can see that we have quite a few perspectives of the clubhouses in the interior. So this is actually one of the clubhouse called the Dunearn Club.
Wow, this is the function room, isn't it?
Yes, you can see that it's also facing the one of the pool out there, and it looks very huge because not many function rooms in Singapore, I say, is of this size. Usually, you know, you just can put one table, that's all. But this one, you see, they even give you an island, a huge dining area, plus a huge sofa relaxation area as well.
I think just by looking at the picture itself, you really feel already luxurious, right?
of a different level.
Exactly. And of course, that was the Dunearn Club. And the gym looks like a very, very decent size with areas to house quite a number of machines. I like the fact that they actually place the outdoor and the indoor side by side so that you have best of both worlds.
Yes, that's right. Actually, most condos that you see, they always put it super far apart. So you have to choose between one or the other. But I think this one is actually a very good idea. I haven't really seen this before though.
I want to remind everyone who is watching in today, Dunearn House 380 units only.
Yes.
Really low density, but look at the kind of facilities they are giving you. And of course, I think this is definitely going to be one of the favorite areas because I think inside Dunearn House itself, there's going to be a waterfall.
Wow. So that's why it's called the Waterfall Club. I think it's actually facing the waterfall behind, if I can see.
This is probably one of the the quiet corners or the quiet area that, you know, if you would like to enjoy reading a book or just chilling out or just
Working from home, you can just
Exactly.
work at the clubhouse.
Moving on to the unit mix breakdown, right? Arina, I think we don't have any one bedrooms in Dunearn
Yes,
House.
we do not have. The smallest unit type we have is actually a 2-bed 1-bath.
Exactly.
So 2-bed 1-bath at 527 square feet. So we've got about 40 units of that, and then followed by 2-bedroom premium, 77 units. 2-bedroom study, we've got 59 units.
And I think this two-bedroom category makes up 45% of the entire development itself. Oh, interesting. Let's talk a little bit about why do you think, Arina, that the developer is building about 45% of the two-bedroom unit types here?
Because one good thing is that we do not have any 1-bedroom units, you know, so these days, you know, 2-bedrooms will cater mostly for investors or maybe young couples, you know, looking to buy their first home, especially in this Bukit Timah area. You know, I think this will be a very good and affordable quantum for them to enter in.
Exactly, and I think actually one of the reasons that personally I feel why they built quite a number of 2-bedrooms, 45% of it, is because of the upcoming Perth City transformation. Because I feel that this particular development will be one of the top choices for the upgraders coming up into this area. You know, in future when the BTO is ready to be sold off, I think there will be a lot of aspiring young families who would like to continue to stay in this area, and so they will be actually looking at a 2-bedroom unit type. You know, families with maybe one child, you know, the 2-bed 2-bath or 2+ study could potentially even hold 2 kids, you know, till they finish their primary school. And I think this will actually cater to the upcoming demand, and that's the reason why the developer has built quite a number of 2-bedrooms in this particular development, even though the sizes are from 527 square feet all the way to 678 square feet. But this is a harmonized project, so if you look at it in totality, it is a pretty decent size itself.
That's right.
Okay, let's move on to the 3-bedders, and we have a total 25% of the whole entire development made up of the 3-bedders. And in the luxury collection, we have the 3-bedroom compact, which is 872 square feet. And then those of the families who want a little bit more flexi area, you can go for our 3-bedroom flexi, that is at 936 square feet, and the 3-bedroom study at 947 and 969. I personally feel that the 3 flexi and the 3 study will be the top sellers.
Yes, I think so too, because especially for families, bigger families, families with more kids, I think they would really enjoy the extra space, the flexi room and the study room.
But think about it, it's less than 1,000 square feet.
Correct. But then we must also remember this is harmonization.
Yeah, 1,000 square feet, even if I'm talking about $3,000 per square foot, this is actually less than 3 million.
Yes.
Wow.
Actually, it's quite comparable to some of the OCR projects already.
Exactly. Right? Does that already sound exciting, right? And of course, before we get on to the prices and probably a few show units floor plans to share with everyone, maybe Arina, can you share with us a little bit on the Pinnacle collection?
So the Pinnacle collection, the more luxurious one at the 19th floors block, we have the 3-bedroom premium at 1,001 square feet. And then of course we've got the 4-bedroom at 1,184 square feet, all the way to 4-bedroom premium plus study at 1,378 square feet. So these are actually quite good size, very big size units, probably for those bigger families or maybe some multi-general families, parents who stay around the area, maybe they want to buy for their kids and maybe move in with their kids in future. I think they can consider this 4-bedroom units.
That looks really attractive, right? And of course, I want to point out to everyone over here, if you look at the Pinnacle collection, wow, this is how rare. Per floor, only 4 units. Every one is single loading. Every one is a corner unit.
That is right, like a point block.
Exactly. If you look at the biggest unit that we have over here, the 4-bedroom premiums plus study, like Arina mentioned, 1,378 square feet. Wow, if you take out your calculator and press, wow, maybe every unit in Dunearn House is going to be a lot lesser than 5 million.
That's super attractive.
Yeah, and you get to stay in a 4-bedroom unit in Bukit Timah, walking distance to MRT station. Wow, wow, wow. Right, sit tight before we share with you the prices of the estimated price matrix later. And of course, knowing the mega developers, Frasers, Sekisui, look at the provision you'll be enjoying over here. All the sanitary fittings from all the European high-end brands, your Hans Grohe, your Jabri. I think these are really the top-end brands that we quite see often in CCR. Right, and of course in the Pinnacle collection, you will see the Black Chrome series over here. They're using SMAC. I would say a lot of the luxury developers are using SMAC nowadays, right?
I mean, SMAC is quite a popular brand that everybody likes.
You can see over here from the simple site plan, you will have a lot of good access. We have 4 different side gates. You can see over here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So no matter whether you're going to the future road towards the Turf City area, or you are moving towards the bus stop over here, or you want to walk to the 6th Avenue MRT station, well covered.
Easily accessible.
Exactly, exactly. And most of the blocks are in the pretty much north-south orientation, so you won't get a lot of the west sun as well. And of course, we have 39 different facilities.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like actually we have full facilities, right?
Exactly, because we have a tennis court as well. This is actually a full facilities development. Only 380 units. You really have to be very lucky to land a unit here. Speak to us to understand how you can potentially maybe have a head start ahead of the public if you would like to do so. These are just some perspectives of some of the provision of the cabinets that you will see in the luxury and Pinnacle collection. Well, you can see very nice and classy glass cabinets provided in the Pinnacle collection here.
Nice color theme as well, I would say, of the backsplash of the kitchen area and the cabinetry.
Gives a very cozy and homely feeling. I think the soft tone. For those of you who want to know what you will be seeing at the show flat, right? From the luxury collection, we'll be having the show suite of the 2-bedroom plus study unit. Over here, we will see very interesting 2-bedroom plus study that is a corner unit. If you look at the floor plan itself, this particular unit has got windows in the kitchen
and the 2 toilets
in the 2 toilet. And it's so rare, right, Arina?
For 2-beders especially, because usually most 2-bedrooms, as we all know, they do not have windows in the kitchen and the bathrooms.
Correct. And imagine having a kitchen that you can walk and you have all the natural ventilation. This particular layout itself is the traditional kind of 2-bedder layout whereby it's a non-dumbbell layout, and I think some of the, would say, people who prefer privacy, they actually quite still like this kind of layout.
Correct, for sure. And especially like it that when you enter through the front door, you actually cannot see the kitchen. because the kitchen is actually tucked in one corner and it's kind of like considered semi-enclosed already. Because if you want, you can actually install your own sliding door.
For this particular development, they are likely to be able to also be doing some configuration to the walls as well.
Yes. So actually, if you feel that you do not need a study room, you can actually hack away the wall and then you can actually have a larger dining area space. Or you can actually make it into, instead of a study room, just a small little storeroom, and then you can enjoy a bigger dining area space as well.
And I think interestingly, because of the fact that you have so much flexibility, this could potentially be a 2-bedroom that can last you longer. Because over here itself, you're asking about me, I'm someone who likes to hack walls. If it's me, I'll probably just push it a little bit like closer to this side so that I will use this as a storage. And I will make it like a 2-bedroom unit with a storeroom, which is quite rare in the market. And then at the same time, I actually make my dining area a little bit bigger.
A lot of buyers, they like to put their dining area in the balcony itself.
Yes.
Then you can have a lot of space inside to do what you want. You can put a bar counter, dry kitchen, pantry area.
Correct.
You can actually have many options.
The developers and designers are pretty thoughtful, because if you look at the way they have structured the study, this gives you the flexibility to actually choose, because the layout is being done this way. Because a lot of study, right, in the market, the 2-bedroom layouts is actually away from this area, so they have no chance of being combined.
Correct.
Okay, and of course you can see they are using also a very similar soft brown, cozy tone. You can see over here itself, they are using on the living, dining, kitchen and balcony, the stone look-alike European large format tiles that is actually 1.2 meters wide. And for the bedrooms, they're using engineered timber, which are nowadays actually engineered timber are very easy to maintain as well.
I think they're all very nice, classy finishes.
Then of course over here itself, right, we can see some of the provision of the sanitary fittings, the mixer from Hans Grohe, the smack fridge, and how the kitchen is going to look like. Maybe Arina, we can go through the 3-bedroom plus study in the luxury collection before moving to the pinnacle collection.
Yes, so you can see this will be the 3-bedroom plus study unit. So as you enter, for this unit, you'll notice that we actually have a home shelter. So I like the fact that the home shelter, if you see, is actually tucked in the kitchen. So you can actually, let's say if you have a helper, I think these days many people actually convert the home shelter into helper's room. And then they also have a WC inside. So that of course can be the, the helper's personal own toilet as well. So over here, 3 bedrooms, all of very good size. And one thing you notice is that I think the study is in a very good location. Why do I say that? It's because, right, you can actually convert the study into a walk-in wardrobe for the master bedroom.
Exactly.
If you want. And it can be additional wardrobe space or it can be part of the master bedroom. I think the developer is very smart to configure this layout, because once again, it gives buyers the flexibility to decide what you want to do with that study room, that space.
Exactly. I think nowadays it's not easy to look for floor plans or design that has longevity. And because like as family needs grow and change over time, they may need to configure differently. And if you have a very flexible layout, that will allow you to actually do the configuration. Not maybe don't even need to sell your unit, you can probably just do some reconfiguration. This 3-bedroom plus study, I personally like the study a lot, because I like study areas with window, because then it really gives me a feel that it's a proper room.
Correct.
Nowadays when we say study, sometimes it's just a corner lah.
Yes, just extra space, right?
Yeah, correct. Look at some of the provision inside the 3-bedroom plus study. It's pretty much quite similar. You will still see the large format tiles. You will still see the engineered timber in the 3-bedroom study luxury collection. You see the kitchen, quite similar look. This is in the luxury collection, and it's a little bit different tone later in pinnacle collection. The unit that we see in the show flat for the 4-bedroom plus study, this is likely going to be the largest one that we see, with the 1378 square feet. 4-bedroom plus study, the moment you walk into the unit itself, I see landscape layout over here, right? As you enter into the foyer and you really opens up, right, and it really will feel very grand. And what is really interesting in this particular layout is to find an island.
Yes,
Right.
I was looking at that one.
Yes. How many units itself, right, are able to have an island top? So those of you who love cooking, you can see there's actually quite a lifestyle kitchen that you see
Correct.
over there.
I think it's like every woman's dream to have an island in the kitchen. And
Yeah.
this kitchen, from the looks of it, you can see the size. It's really, really spacious and huge.
You can see the living dining area, which is a landscape layout, right? The dining area itself will potentially seat 8 to 10 seater. And we have a Jack and Jill common room over here, right? And of course, a study area. It comes with a window as well. And two side kind of walk-in concept and a his and her sink in the master room.
Correct. And once again, I think you also have the option. If you want to convert the study to be part of the master bedroom, you can also do that. And then you can see that once you've done that, your master bedroom really becomes a lot bigger. And then you can actually even have a dedicated dressing area inside there as well.
So really, the developers have been really putting in some serious thought in terms of the flexibility for the buyers itself. We look at the provisions, right, of the flooring itself is still quite similar. I think they're still using the large format tiles and the engineered timber. So quite similar to the luxury collection. But I think what's really different will be really this is how that island will look like. Right, and of course the tone is slightly darker, right? You can see the cabinets and the top as well. Over here, the his and her sink, you can see the top over here, right? Slightly darker tone, but it really look luxurious to me.
Yes, looks like a 5-star hotel actually.
Okay, and of course for the Pinnacle collection earlier on, we've seen rather than the normal kind of like
The wardrobe,
right? You
The
have a very
opaque
classy
doors.
Yeah. So this one you will see very classy looking cabinets, and of course I really like the brown tone that they are using because it gives me a very relaxed feel.
I think it's also something that's very pleasant to most people. Easy for you to do your own design, once you get your unit as well.
So Arina, next let's take a look at this beautiful area picture of the whole entire Turf City area that's upcoming soon, right? And of course you see Dunearn House situated here, right? And all these potentially new buildings, new amenities coming into this area itself.
That's right. Okay, we can see that we are really actually literally right smack in the middle of the whole Turf City transformation.
Exactly, and I think I like the fact that it's actually situated on the main side of the Bukit Timah area. So it's been really very recognizable, something that's very iconic that people can actually spot straight away as they travel along Bukit Timah area. And what you really can see over here from this picture is how Dunearn House could potentially be the tallest building, having the beautiful view and elevated views over the landed GCB areas along the Bukit Timah area.
That's right.
And of course, let's move on to the highly anticipated prices, right? That what potentially you could see, right, at Dunearn House, right? So, Arina, what do you see when you see this price matrix over here?
I think my first thought when I see this price is, wow, the prices are so affordable. They are all so similar to almost so similar to the OCR prices, especially maybe let's take a look at the two-bedder. I mean, if you are talking about, somewhere in the middle, let's say 1.5, I mean, OCR prices are even more expensive than 1.5 these days. So, any young couple, looking to step foot into this Bukit Timah region, they want status, lifestyle, they can actually consider Dunearn House.
Exactly. When I saw the potential prices in Dunearn House, what really struck me is these two things. One, prices could potentially start for a 2-bedroom unit at 1.4x million. And if I look at the biggest unit at 1,378 square feet, potentially you can even buy a high floor unit that is maybe, I would say, lesser than 4.8 million. So 1.4x all the way to 4.7, 4.8, well below $5 million. You can actually set foot into one of the most prestigious area and have this as your residential address, right? And I think this is really something so palatable because if I look at all the different unit types over here, the quantum is so affordable.
Correct.
Look at the 3-bedroom.
Yes. I mean, way below 3 million, I can get a 3-bedroom plus study. I mean,
It's a no-brainer, right?
really.
And of course, we look at all these sizes, even though, some of you might say that it's a little bit small, right? But don't forget, this is actually a harmonized project, so you still need to factor in that the fact that the sizes over here really all really usable
Yes,
spaces.
correct. That's right. And I think I like it that they actually cater a range of different sizes for the 3-bedders. I mean, 872, if you are some young family, 2 or 3 people looking to start up, you don't really need a big unit.
And of course, we see the floor plans earlier. The developers have actually designed the floor plans to be quite flexible, customizable, and I think this is really good because then it gives you a little bit more longevity. But what do you think the average prices could look like, Arina?
I think on the safe side, if you're looking at 3,000 to 3,001.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think that, of course, those of you who know new launches need to undergo the balloting process, right? So if you think that Dunearn House could potentially be part of one of your choices in your property portfolio, really do reach out to us to have a non-obligatory conversation of how some of your options could look like for your portfolio. And of course, I really agree, right, that for financial planning prudence, you should really be planning around the 3,000 to the 3,001 PSF on an average basis, and definitely with the nice views around, some of you might want to buy really the higher floors, right? And of course, higher floors will command a slight premium. So it's good to be planning on at least the average pricing. And of course, before we leave you today, we really want to end this session by really sharing with all of you who has been sitting through our review, right? Thank you very much for joining us. Dunearn House is definitely in a location whereby I think the address is undisputed, right? Whenever we talk about Bukit Timah, we think about
Top schools.
Exactly, right? You'll be spoiled for choice, right? From the primary to the secondary to the tertiary to international schools, you have almost like 1,001 choices.
Yes, correct. Plus, of course, this is the fact that this is the first non-landed residence in this Swiss Club area in more than 30 years.
I think long time now, we don't have new launches, right? And I think some of the buyers have really been waiting for this plot. Definitely, we talked a lot about the Top City transformation, and I think Dunearn House really can call themselves the first chapter in this whole the first of the first. And of course, right, we talk a little bit about how convenient this project is potentially be 10 minutes neighborhood, right? So what does really 10 minutes neighborhood mean to you?
I think the 10-minute neighborhood is that everything that I need to or want to get, everything can be accessible in 10. Whether is it connectivity, accessibility, amenities, everything is within 10 minutes range.
What is exciting is this 10-minute neighborhood, right, Arina, is that not only we're talking about Dunearn House being 10 minutes to the existing amenities, but also 10 minutes to the upcoming new amenities in the Turf City area. Right? And of course, practically all Singaporeans say, I want to be near MRT, I want to be near MRT. Well, you have it, right? Because for us,
yes, we are only 4 minutes to 6th Avenue MRT. Yes, and not only that, we have another upcoming MRT, Turf City MRT line. That's only 7-minute walk.
Yeah.
So you have 2 different MRT lines, 2 different stations to choose from.
Exactly, you have Downtown Line and Cross Island Line you can choose, right? And with this new chapter, Dunearn House is likely going to be the tallest building in this vicinity for now, right?
Yes, correct. So you are actually elevated, above all the good class bungalows, So if you choose to get a unit, facing the landed view, you're actually looking down on all the GCBs below you.
Yeah, and of course, we have mentioned early on and shared some of the floor plans that we will be seeing at Dunearn House. You could see how thoughtful, how much consideration the developer has put into the design to allow it to be very efficient, allow it to be very customizable and flexible for your own needs. And this really is a development that you should really be looking at. So for those of you who would like to visit us at the sales gallery, we are likely going to preview in the mid of July, right? Yes. And the sales booking will be likely to be end of July, right? So if you would like to actually speak to any of us for in-depth analysis, even before the preview period, we'll be happy to do so. Please reach out to us. If not, my name is Rain.
And I'm Irina. We would love to hear from you.
See you!